EVO.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Finding Me, episode 17. I am Josh Wolf. Thank you for joining me on this journal. This is a daily podcast slash journal that I'm doing to help hold myself accountable to who I want to be and what I want to put out in the world and to put out the most authentic me. And so thank you all so much for being here. I have to tell you, this week I was going to just focus on, last week we did health and we did the mold journey. And this week I was planning on just doing insecurities and kind of touching on my top 5. But if I'm really being the most authentic me, it's not something I can talk about right now. Not because maybe I'll do it next week. But yesterday I touched on what's happening in the US right now. And if I truly want to be the most authentic me, I think my silence has made people think that I don't care or that I'm somehow on the side of, what's happening right now. And I'm not. And Jacob said something to me. He was like, dude, I have people in my comments who just think that because you don't talk about it, that you are complicit. And I'm not somebody who doesn't speak opinions and beliefs because I don't have them. I definitely have them. I just have always felt like, everyone has a role to play. And one of my roles to play, how I always thought, was to be a place where people could come and just forget and have fun. And I still believe that if you look at my social media and my shows, that is what that is. But to be authentic, I'm not worried about losing followers or ticket sales or anything like that. That wouldn't be why I didn't speak publicly on my pages. Because if you know me or you listen to my podcast, you know that's not who I am. And I was really convinced that I should keep it out of my front-facing public figure altogether, just to give people a place for a reprieve, But two things. When Jacob said that to me, it made me realize what's more important than giving people a place. Oh, since my mustache is getting so long, I get mustache hairs in my mouth. It's so crazy. Sorry. What's more important to me is that the people I love, the people who look up to me in my family, the people who look to me for guidance, my kids, my grandkids, everyone in my family who it's important to me that those people are proud of me and who I am. It's important to me that I'm proud of who I am. And I don't know a ton about policy, which is why I never talk about it. I don't know. I'm not, but this isn't policy. This is humanity. This is America's way of life. And I'm not out to vilify people. Listen, there are 10% of the people that follow MAGA that I don't want, I have no interest in reaching and talking to and communicating with. And they're out right now, the white nationalist part, I'm not interested. As far as I'm concerned, those people can all go fuck themselves for real. And I could never be on the same side as those people. I just couldn't. But there are people that I know, good people, who it's like you get so caught up in this identity. It's okay not to agree with this part. It's okay to be like, I like the immigration policy and I like ICE, if you want to say that. I like what the idea of what they're doing. It's still okay to be like, I like the idea of what they're doing. This is not okay. I like the idea of them. I don't personally, but I like the idea of them going into cities and checking people's IDs, which I don't like either. But what we're seeing now is an army of armed, untrained people who are shooting Americans on the streets and causing fear and disrupting economies and sending people to camps who aren't criminals. And that's not okay. I'm not okay with that. You want to disagree with me or anybody else, or you want to talk about them closing the Department of Education? I mean, we could talk about it. That's something that is talk. You, can- I have a relative who's like, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think the Department of Education hasn't done anything in years. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let me hear this out. And I heard what he said. I didn't agree, but I heard what he said. But that's one thing. That's policy, which people have disagreed on for centuries because people have different interests. And that's okay if you have different interests. But fear mongering, bullying, and murder, that ain't it. That ain't it. And the gaslighting, you can't tell me what I'm seeing with my eyes. The gaslighting is so egregious. And on top of that, it's just hard to come to grips with the fact that in our possession, we have a list of pedophiles. Pedophiles that we are just not exposing. It is so bananas to me. I heard so much when the queens were reading to our kids that we got to protect our kids. And now there's like a now it doesn't matter. Now and they're not really kids, they're 16. Get fucked. Get fucked. I want to go back to disagreeing about policy. I want to go back. That is fucking fine. It's what, dude, if everybody thought the same, how terrible. Truly, how terrible. Truly, man. We don't want, this is the best thing about this country is there's so many different ideas and thoughts, but none of them have to do with, white nationalist shit where it is dangerous. The fact that people are emboldened and these motherfuckers are going to college campuses and talking to people and filling their head with hate, dude. Hate. This is how countries and democracies fall. And I can't be silent in murder and pedophilia. I just can't. It really, and like I said, you can keep the unfollowing you. That doesn't, I'm doing fine. Do you know what I mean? And it's up to you. You can, but I need to be able to look at myself in the mirror and I need to be able to um, look at my kids and my grandkids and know that I'm living a life that I am proud of. and that they can be proud of. That's important to me. So whatever you believe in, I can't believe that you believe in protecting murderers and pedophiles. And if you do, kindly show yourself out. Yeah, man, look, like I said, we should have discussions. It is so important to hear other people's points of view. That even if it doesn't change your mind, you can't truly argue your point unless you know what the other person thinks or why they think that. You just can't. So it's important to have dialogue. So fucking important. But there's no dialogue for this. We saw a man, an American dude who worked at the VA in the ICU helping our veterans. We saw him get shot multiple times with multiple agents on top of him. He wasn't waving his gun, but if you choose to believe that, by the time they got him on the ground, he wasn't, because we saw somebody take the gun. So what law enforcement is supposed to do is disarm you and then not shoot you. It doesn't, because you carry a gun to a protest, by the way, in an open carry state, and he's got a permit, that doesn't make you a criminal or someone who deserves to get shot. Do you remember? I forget where that was a couple of years ago, where those maybe it was Montana. Was it Ruby Ridge? Where all those dudes were pointing high-powered rifles at federal agents. Do you remember that? And the federal agents were like, yeah, you know what? It's not worth it. There was no fire. They were pointing them at them, not had it holstered, didn't have 7 people on their back. It was an encampment of people. I'd have to go back and look at what it was. But we can't change the rules because it doesn't fit our narrative. All the rules have to apply. That goes for everybody, man. All the rules apply. You don't get to say it's okay for our team to do it, but you're not your team. And murder and pedophilia is not okay on any team. I would ask you guys who are listening to this, do not pay attention to comments. I would bet you 50% of them are bots, especially the really inflammatory ones, at least 50%. They're trying to get you to hate the other group. And since a lot of you don't mingle with the other group, you're just getting your information off the internet or the comments, and it's ridiculous. And there are so many, because it gets attention and money, there are so many ridiculous, inflammatory, uneducated influencers who will just say anything for the money or for the clout. And so I would implore you to talk to actual people. You know, at my shows, I definitely have Trumpers and libtards. I definitely do. And off the internet, these are decent people. These are good people. I meet them in the meet and greet line. I don't think those are the people leaving these crazy comments. Those people don't fuck with. It's the middle 70%. That's who needs to decide that enough is fucking enough. No Nazis, no Nazi salutes in public, no, there was a period of there where no matter what I said online, somebody was like, another white guy. Listen, No, just anti crazy left. You're a white guy with a dick. You must be a bad person. Those people we can't talk to. But there's 70% of us who are, we may differ a little bit, but we don't differ on humanity and what America is. And that's it. This is Finding Me. I'm Josh Wolf. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.